Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of FSI's PGA Preview. It's your boy TK Nation here, bringing to you the weekend and round 3 plays for Pebble Beach. If you've been following along in the videos this week, you've noticed some trends on windy conditions. We've been talking about it throughout. Tomorrow's going to be the biggest day with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. So our strategy with these guys that can play well on the wind, guys that have been hitting the ball really well tee to green, and guys that have been playing well on the approach are going to be guys that we continue to roster. Tomorrow's going to be kind of one of those random slates where anything goes. So we're trying to stick to our process here, stick to our guns, and hopefully we can make our way to some green screens. Before we get started, just wanted to say please like and subscribe all of our videos. We have a lot of things to offer here at FSI. E. Kruger just hit a big $1,300 payout for esports. So the range from golf to soccer to NASCAR to esports, your big major league organizations like NBA, NHL, everything is covered here at FSI. So please subscribe to the channel and get in tune with all of us. You can find all of our content scattered throughout. So let's get started into some picks. 10K, we got Cantley at 10.6, Berger at 10.3, and Paul Casey at 10K. All three plays are good. All three players can play in the wind. I think I'm going to have a little bit of mixture on the weekend slate of each of these three golfers. Patrick Cantley had a big 10 under round on Pebble Beach when there was no wind, but it's going to be a windy track, and he shot one over on Spyglass Hill yesterday. I think he's going to bounce back a little bit better. He typically plays really well on Saturdays. I think he's going to find himself in the final couple of pairings, and with that being said, he's going to have a couple birdies. At 10.6, I think you're getting a really safe play here, and maybe that's something we need in our lineups just in case we find a few landmines later on throughout our lineup, and we easily could with windy conditions. So taking the safety net of Cantley might not be a bad option tomorrow. Berger is a really good wind player. He shot 6 under on Pebble Beach today, went 4.2 on the tee to green. He even chipped in for eagle. Berger looks like he's really dialed in this week. I'm going to have plenty of Berger in my lineups for weekend and or Showdown round 3. Paul Casey, I think, is going to be the forgotten man in this range. 10K, 3.2 tee to green, 3.1 around the green. That's what's really standing out to me, is he's really making the most of getting up to the green. Whether he's on it or not, he's still gaining strokes on the par 5s and maybe some of these shorter par 4s with that around the green play. He shot 500 on Pebble Beach. I think he's going to be low owned, and I think that makes for a really good GPP play. Second golfer in my lineups for probably the weekend and round 3 is going to be Jordan Spieth. This is my one and done pick, so come on, Jordan, bring it home for TK at 9,600 on the slate, 7 under on Pebble Beach round 1 with there was no wind. He's got 2.3 on the approach, 4 tee to green. Just really pulling for Jordan. I'm going to go all in on the weekend and hope he can close the door and propel me into a good spot in this one and done standings. Next up, I think Jason Day makes for another good play. He shot 300 on Pebble Beach. He's been really good. He hasn't really had that many bogeys, no blow up holes. He's been really steady around the course. He hasn't scored a ton of birdies, and I think that's okay. It hasn't really worked out for Showdown for the first couple of slates, but now that we find ourselves into a slate where there's going to be a ton of wind, I think that kind of consistency is going to be really hard to match. I think if you want to do pivot off of Spieth or start your lineup with Spieth and go Spieth Day, I think that's a really good option as well. Cam Davis is going to be like the Paul Casey of the 9K range. He's going to be really low owned, but he shot 5 under today, went 4.2 tee to green at 9,300. I don't think many people are going to be rostering Cam Davis. I think you're going to get him sub 5%, and I think he can make for a really strong play in the 9K range for GPPs. 8K, we have Hendrik Norlander at 8,700. If you can fit him with Cantley and Spieth, or like a Berger Spieth combination, if you can find some plays down in the 6K, and we'll get to that later on about the 6K range, but I think Henrik Norlander makes for really strong play. As I've mentioned in previous videos, his tee to green game has been really strong. 4.5 on tee to greens, 3.4 ball striking, and he shot 8 under on Pebble Beach on round 1. Granted, there was no wind, so we're going to be a little unsure how he plays in this windy conditions. But we have, in the chat, we've been talking about windy model rankings and stuff like that. And Norlander graded out pretty well in strokes gained total for windy conditions. So I do like Norlander. 8,200 Matt Jones is going to be my low AK play. There's not much I really love in this AK range. I could only find 2 guys to really talk about. He shot 500 on Pebble in no wind. He's Australian. He knows his course really well, and I think he could get around. I would consider it a GPP play, not a must. So let's get into 7Ks and below. First up on 7K range, I like Russell Knox at 7,600. This Scott's got a lot of good course history. He's got a lot of good windy conditions rankings. He's 3.2 on ball striking, 2.8 tee to green, and 2.7 on the approach. Shot 6 under on Pebble Beach. Next up, I like Hank Lobota at 74. He's 2.2 tee to green. Michael Thompson, 7.2. He's 2.9 ball striking, 2.5 tee to green. All consistent. Like, this is the common theme from 6K and 7K. It's all guys that have been striking the ball really well, tee to green. I'm not going to take my chances on guys that aren't getting off the tee well, that aren't doing around the green or ball striking approach. I'm not going to take anyone that's really faltering because I think with the windy conditions, the guys that have been struggling at doing something specific on the course are going to continue to do so. So I'm really zoning in on my strokes gained metrics and trusting in that, and then going with these guys. Next up, I have Matthew Naysmith at 7,200. He went off today, shot 5 under, made the cut, bounced back for my POC, John Cool 19. He has him in a lot of lineups. He's 3.8 on the approach, 4.3 ball striking, 4.8 tee to green. Probably a core play. Next up, I have like this Sebastian Kaplan guy. First in the model rankings on windy as fuck rate, windy as AF, but that's what it's called technically. But he's 7K, 2.5 approach, 2.5 ball striking, 3.2 tee to green, and he shot 7 under on Pebble Beach to make the cut. I think he's a really strong play. 6K, we have Tom Lewis. He kind of came out of nowhere. He had a really bad run of form on the European Tour. He's been diving in and out of the PGA Tour. I think he played in Sony, but he was 4.1 on tee to green, only 6,800. He shot 600 on Pebble Beach. Vaughn Taylor, another previous winner on this course. He's 3.26 tee to green, shot 300 on Pebble Beach. Ches Reavie went off today, 5 under on Pebble Beach, 4.1 on the approach, 4.3 ball striking, 4 tee to green. I think that's going to be another core play. If you've been following along, I think that's going to be a Spieth, Naysmith, and Reavie core tomorrow. I like Maverick McNeely, 2.3 ball striking, 2.9 tee to green. He's only 6,500. He's well up in the top 10. He's another strong play. These guys down here are really good plays. I see no difference between them and the 7K guys, these 6K guys. So the savings we're going to get on these 6K guys are going to be able to help us get to guys like Cantley, Berger, and both of them in multiple lineups. Last but not least, Tom Hoagy, another strong play at 6,500. He's 3.3 on ball striking. So these 7K, 6K guys are going to be guys that I'm going to be playing a lot of, and then I'm going to be paying up. So stars and scrubs it is. And that'll pretty much wrap it up for a little breakdown of our weekend and round 3 ahead for the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, or No-Am, as a lot of us have been calling it. So thank you very much for listening in. As always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can follow us at FSI_DFS, and you can follow me at TKNation47. So like the video and tune in for round 4 and catch our NASCAR content for the Daytona 500. And hopefully we can hear from you. See you later.